We know now, we're looking at a hut site, an oval hut site, okay? See, just... For years that annoyed me. It's wedged up again. It's very nearly suggestive of the capstone of a dolmen. At first, I didn't say anything because I didn't have enough confidence to say anything. Bit by bit, I brought archeologists in to look at that. And they looked at it and hummed, the heart I suppose, and they demurred and didn't say yea or nay, and nobody said anything. Back in the year 2008, Anne-Marie Ward, Heritage Officer with Cavan County Council, got in touch with me. She says, I'm looking for some money from the Heritage Council. I want to do a study. Glacial erratics and their relationship to early human settlement. That's what we'll do. And we'll give it one hell of a title, I said as well. We'll call it Creating Sacred and Secular Space. And we'll either be proven right, or we'll be laughed entirely out of court. €15,000 I think was accessed. For that they got two archaeologists, Tatiana Keitmanoff from Germany, Emmanuel Mons, whom I mentioned before, from Brittany, who's a genius. I couldn't hardly speak English. And that was supplemented by a geologist, Professor John Gunn of Birmingham University. In a 6-week period they looked at maybe 10, 12 openings. When Tatiana saw this first, she said, wow! Right? This was something she'd never seen before. Okay? Now, I'm looking over at you, Mary, there, and behind you, and Barbara, you're okay. I want you to look at the stone behind. They're all the same boulder, and there's a third piece further back. We made some mistakes, we do, not too many. We assumed that where Barbara is there was the original boulder, and the piece where the children are behind had been thrown back of it. Emmanuel Mons quickly told us, he says, look, we're looking at the fresh face on top, he says, and the weathered face underneath. The weathered face is the underneath face. The original boulder was where the children are over there. Okay? This was thrown forward with the very weathered face underneath. Now it's been wedged up, we could see that, and something very, very suggestive space is underneath it, suggestive of a ritual burial or deposit of some sort. Okay, I'm not prescriptive about whether or not, but it certainly... Yes, this has, not alone has it been wedged up, but the bedrock has been dug out and a pit has been lowered into it. After the 6 weeks here, they wrote up a report. Tatiana called those what she termed semi-megaliths. See how they were integrated into the field wall system? It's in a field wall. So you keep the dead, or the ashes or the bones of the dead close by for luck on the enterprise. And you integrate the whole lot. We're still keeping relics. I think there was some famous fella's heart there stolen from Christchurch Cathedral not so long ago, kind of. They've been kept for a few years. We always think. Okay? So that is, to Tatiana, a semi-megalith. To me, yeah, I'd suggest kind of a prototype. Or the top of the wall became available after soil erosion and was stripped from the limestone pedestal and was built up probably about the middle of the 19th century. Maybe the early 19th century, maybe middle 19th century. Alright, all these stones are enigmatic. That's been sculpted. We've strange shapes in front here. We're going to go out here again.
You're coming back here. Celebrated in Holywell, Balcoo, to this very day in August. Okay. Do you have anything to add to that?
Now, as I said, they are what archaeologists are, right? There's no problem in recognising the cups and rings, the rosettes, and they call it Atlantic rock art. And the reason they call it Atlantic rock art is that those motifs are found all along the Atlantic fringe from the Iberian Peninsula through France, Brittany, through Britain, Ireland, up to the Hebrides and I think the Orkneys. So they call it Atlantic rock horns. It's the collapsed remains of a multi-hut